Hey there, it's Cenk here with a quick review of InboxingPro. InboxingPro is an email autoresponder service in a nutshell. And as you probably know, I've been using Aweber for over 10 years now, ActiveCampaign for, oh god, it must be 3 years now. And I'm still looking for something that is, closer to the ideal thing. And the big problem right now facing Aweber, well, the Awebers, the constant contacts, basically all the big delivery services, is that the Gmails of this world start labeling even very good emails, emails people want to see, they start labeling them as spam. And it's all got to do with basically figuring out which email autoresponder services send out a lot of bulk email, if you like, and then they're being really harsh when they're classified. And unfortunately, there was a massive drop over the last few weeks. And that's why I'm starting again to look around. I've looked around in the past and tried various things where you use self-hosted email, and unless you have your own server, that's not really recommended, because the moment you start using shared hosting, if anyone starts sending spam from that server, then basically that server is blacklisted and you can't use it anymore. So when I saw InboxingPro, I thought, oh, this is interesting because it is hosted. It's hosted in the cloud, SaaS. It's not something you need to put onto your own WordPress site. So that in itself was very appealing. But even more than that, you have the ability to connect this up to a ton of different services that send emails out. So what you can do is basically, if you look on the right here, pick any of these. I mean, you can send it straight from your server, but you can also do it via Amazon and SendMail. That is kind of from your server. But Mandrill, Amazon SES, Mailgun, SendGrid, all these different services that let you send email. What's better than that, and that is kind of a very unique thing about InboxingPro, is that a lot of these services allow you to send a free quota every month. And what they've done is they've basically built in a system. If you go out and connect to all of these, what it'll do, it'll basically keep track of how many emails you've sent and just use the free quota of these various services. So once you've used up whatever, Amazon SES, it just switches over to Mailgun. And once you've used up that free quota, it goes over to SendGrid. And by doing that, you can send up to 250,000 emails per month. Now, 250,000 isn't actually that much, because if you have a list of, let's say, 10,000, and you send out an email every single day, well, there you go. That's 300,000 emails. However, until you get to the point where you have 10,000 subscribers, hey, why not use a free service, which is all extremely high quality delivery, because these services specialize in email service or email sending. And who's going to argue with, I reckon it's probably 8,000 emails per day, somewhere around there. Oh, okay, 8,000 emails. If you send about 8,000, you're fine. You can use the free stuff. Now, what's better is with a click of a button type thing, you can then switch over to the paid version, which is still fairly cheap. I mean, if you're sending out, I think it's something like 90 cents or so per 10,000. So if you're sending out your 10,000 a day, then you're at 90 cents per day. And if you're not making back 90 cents per email to 10,000 people, then you're probably doing something wrong. Anyway, these are the highlights of this product, and I'm not going to go through it because I haven't set it up. As you can see, I haven't set up my delivery service yet. I actually bought this here, didn't get a review copy, bought my own copy. Definitely planning to set it up. Have already had a good play with list importing. That worked fine. Here on my list, well, there is the one list, which is one of my, actually there's a stupid name. It's one of my Aweber lists, which I just imported, doing a straight dump from Aweber. It's super simple process. Export in Aweber, import, click the import button here, and it was all done. So I've got this small list of 2,373. And I can now send them the campaigns. There are all kinds of tools, by the way, if you want to go and play with your lists. There are custom fields in there. That's obviously imported from my Aweber content. There are various tools here for importing more stuff, so you can import, export, and copy subscribers. There are tools over here for syncing lists and splitting lists. Syncing is basically removing, I can show you here, right? So you can do, what was it again? If you have missing subscribers, what do you do with it? Something to do with duplicate subscribers. And that could be useful if you have multiple lists or had multiple lists and you've exported them as one go in one go. This duplicate subscriber thing, by the way, is a huge issue because a lot of people will go through, for example, Aweber, where you can select all kinds of lists to include into one mailing. And the problem with that is that to Gmail, that looks kind of confusing, especially when you then next time send to a different subset. What the Gmails of this world like to see is a very consistent and simple, harmonious, if you like, always the same look and feel of what you're sending out. So if you keep switching emails or keep switching sublists that then all combine into one big list you're sending to, that looks different to the outside, and they don't like that. They like consistency. So if it's always coming from the same list and only one single list, that is what they're looking for. So that's where you start using these tools here to make sure you have one list. Anyway, there are templates down here, and the one thing I'm going to show you now is campaigns, where I've just set up one demo campaign, which obviously is now paused, or I paused it because I can't send it, because I haven't set up the servers yet. But when you go in and create or edit a campaign, it's a very nice, I quite like it, editor. Let me see. No, that was wrong. I have no idea, since I've never edited an existing campaign that is about to send out. Let me see if I can edit this thing. Update. Maybe I can edit it. No, I didn't. Save and next. Let's see. I guess I think I can. So basically you do all kinds of checking of things you want to do, like from email, reply to, step-by-step, open tracking, URL tracking, all these kind of things, which is good for, for the stats and also for tagging. And then here is the editor, and this one is, I mean, it's similar to what you've got in Aweber and ActiveCampaign. But what drives me nuts at the moment with ActiveCampaign is that, when you want to just quickly insert an image, it's just such a faff with pulling pictures across, and it's exactly that location and nowhere else, and not a big fan. So, I mean, yes, on the one hand, it's WYSIWYG, you want to have what you're getting out, but overall, I like this here more. So to give you an example, if, for example, I want to have an unsubscribe button, here is already an unsubscribe, but let's pretend we don't have that one here. So let's check that out. And I want to have a different unsubscribe button in here. So I can then, by the way, here are all the different elements you can pull in. But if I want to filter by footer, have a footer down here. And let's say I want to have whatever, this one here, right? So I just pull this over here. And you kind of need to wait for the the gray bar. I'm trying to show you. See that gray bar now? And once you've got that there, you just pull it in there and you're done. And then if you don't like the location, it doesn't make sense to have a footer up here, but let's say this text I want to have below the image. Again, I just pull it down until this gray bar appears. There we go. And now the text is down below. The other nice thing is the images you pull in. That is so much better than ActiveCampaign. I mean, it's a million times better, honestly. ActiveCampaign, it is so tediously slow. It is just mind-boggling. And this one here was really, really fast. I mean, I can let's go for image. Where's images here? Just plain images. I mean, they've got all kinds of images with long captions, and so I'm just going to go for image here. Let's go and pull this one here. Let's go below. Yeah, whatever. There's just another image, and now I want to go and load another image. Here are the boys having a barbecue. Okay, actually, it's not a barbecue. It's a we were at a barbecue festival. Now, as you can see at the moment, it's kind of cropped, right? Because the layout of the one I pulled in was landscape. So if I then want to go, actually, that's not very nice, I can go in here and say, I don't crop it to that particular thing. And now the whole picture's there. And there's us, my two brothers and I at a very, very rainy barbecue festival. There was big, I think, I'm not quite sure what it was, but it's open fire. Open fire and rain don't go that well. Anyway, you saw how quick that was to load the image in there. It's a royal pain in the backside with ActiveCampaign. It's okay with Aweber, but all in all, I like this best here. So anyway, I really, really like this editor. Definitely beats the other two in terms of user friendliness, and text in here, it's the usual stuff. I want to edit it, I go over here, size and font style and bold and blah 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 blah, all that good stuff, links, etc. So there's nothing really new there, but overall I like the look and feel, and as I tend to include images, I like that really, really quite a bit. So all in all, here's the big summary. I personally didn't come here or to this tool for the free in quotes emails because my list is more than the 8,000, so I can't use the free services. However, anyone who has a list of less than 8,000, and I gotta tell you, with a bit of drastic cleaning, I could probably find some good lists that I could use on here and then enjoy the 8,000 free emails every month. But anyone who's got a list of less than 8,000 and keeps up a decent level of list hygiene, hey, why not go with free emails? But more importantly, for me, the main motivation for getting this is, and as I said, I bought this. I didn't get a review copy. This is actually mine. Is because I am, like many others, I'm suffering from the Google whatever they call it. I don't know if it has a name, but there's massive drop in open rates. I mean, it's between 30 and 40%, simply because the Gmails of this world have started looking at, the fact that pretty much all email coming from Aweber, or pretty much all email, I'm not picking on Aweber, so all these autoresponder services, Get, Response, and Constant Contact, etc., they're all sending out promotional emails. I mean, fine. And so far they've been putting them into the promo folder, which is, acceptable because most of it is promotional. But now they've gone really, really drastic and put a lot of it into the spam folder. And that's really what I'm looking to get around, because I like being in the inbox. You spend a lot of time and money and energy not only building a list, but also building that relationship. And then if because Gmail feels like it, puts you in the spam folder, it's kind of offensive. There you go. So that's my main motivation for getting InboxingPro. And I shall keep you updated with how I'm getting on. Anyway, if you're interested, I talked to the creator of it, the actual creator, not the usual, I've outsourced this to India and they've cobbled something together. No, this guy actually sits in Sheffield and not only knows what he's doing, but also he's actually doing it. So it was great connecting with him, and he gave me a lot of good answers. I had lots of technical questions. So he actually knows what's going on here and doesn't have to go, I have to go and ask my developer. But the biggest question I had for him was, well, where are you going with this? Because with a one-off fee of whatever it is, a fistful of dollars, I'm kind of worried, because if you invest time and energy building a list and then a few months or half a year down the line it's no longer supported, there's no point. And really, his answer is he totally appreciates that, but the plans for this is that this is actually his business he's building, and he's doing this launch to get an early group of early adopters in. So you can then obviously get feedback. I've already given him feedback of what I like and what else I'd like to see. But it is definitely going to be a proper business which he's building out and charged monthly. So for now, I would say if you have a list of less than 8,000, it's worth trying out, right? It's only whatever it is at the moment, $27. That's less than a month you're paying with the Awebers of this world. And again, I'm using Aweber as a generic example here for all the autoresponder services. And you're getting basically a lifetime of free sending using their clever inbuilt algorithm where they use or exploit the free quotas from the big mailing companies, the SendGrids or the Amazon SES. So it really is worth trying out. And then, if you're on the fence, get it for $27 because you will be grandfathered in. You're getting the upgrades. That's what I got from him. So once they start building it out into a proper service, you're still in because you got the one-off fee. Alrighty, cheers, bye.